Hello and welcome to Detroit Performs. I am your host, DJ Oliver, and we're at Orchestra Hall, home to the world-renowned Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Founded in 1887, it is the fourth oldest orchestra in the United States. We'll check out a performance a little bit later in the show. But first up, Detroit's dance scene is lavish, from performances on stage like Orchestra Hall to dance clubs scattered across the city, and impromptu dancers along the streets of Greektown. Here we see what's happening to move the Motor City and dance on Detroit.
Detroit has been a mecca for dance for 100 years. Isadora Duncan, Martha Graham, the early, Ballet Russe, with Diaghilev, here at the Music Hall. American Ballet Theater, here at the Music Hall. New York City Ballet, here at the Music Hall. It's unbelievable, but there's other theaters too. I don't think there's any major dance company that's not been on the stage of the Music Hall.
Dance Theater of Harlem and Detroit have had a very long relationship. And I can remember back in the 70s coming to do lecture demonstrations here in Detroit and performing every year here in this wonderful city.
I have to say, over the almost 8 years that we've been here, it's incredible to see how much fuller and busier and electric the city is, on a daily basis. We have to make sure that everyone is understanding the influence of Detroit dance on New York City, what's being choreographed, the companies that are being formed, the dancers that are in them, what's going on around the nation. They're all coming from Detroit.
When I came here, first of all, I didn't even know, about this wonderful theater. And I remember seeing the first show, but being so impressed, like, oh my God, this is Broadway caliber.
I think there's actually a lot of opportunity here. Alvin Ailey is here right now, and Dance Theater of Harlem was just here, and I went and auditioned for them as well. And I think when I meet people from other parts of the country who are dancers, they say things like, oh my gosh, I wish we had an opera house where I live. Like, I wish we had a place where all these people came and all these amazing companies come and recruit dancers, because they have to, a lot of people just don't have that opportunity.
To be a professional dancer, you have to know and set a goal, and then you have to constantly try to achieve it and reach it, and then once you make that achievement, once you get to the end, then you set a new goal. You have to make sure that you feed your body not just good food, but good energy, surround it with good people, so that you can in turn see someone larger than you and reach for where they are.
One of the reasons why many artists, and specifically Complexions, comes through to Detroit is because there's such a wealth of artists here, and young artists, and growing artists who actually have an understanding of whatever genre they're doing, like that be music or dance or visual arts. I've just found throughout the years coming here, from those years when I was in the Alvin Ailey Company and performing at the Masonic Temple, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And there were 4 members in the company from the Detroit area at that time. So it actually put it on the map for me, because I didn't know very much about Detroit, except for obviously Motown and the music that has come out of here.
In fact, Detroit has as much immigration as New York has, but what's different is New York is a very transient place. Detroit is a final destination, where you build your home and you put your kids in school, and we're exchanging cultural ideas, and out of that comes this prolific artwork and creativity and innovation.
There are students and children in particular who are not necessarily literary learners. They are kinesthetic learners, and we have to help those children be just as competitive and successful in school. And that's one thing that we can use in the public schools in so many different atmospheres, and also with senior citizens. I mean, you put on some music and you will see everyone smiling right away.
Detroit is not the easiest place on earth to live, but I think what it does is it provides you with a background and a strength and a conviction. But once you have that conviction and you understand the diversity that is available within this region, you're set for the world and you're ready to go and explore the world and move on. And I think that's what gives Detroiters this great foundation.
Dance has really taught me time management, for sure, with taking AP and honors classes at school and doing over 25 hours a week here, it's really taught me to be like well-rounded and be able to plan my day and keep schedules straight and be responsible.
Dance is actually a part of life. It's not a tool of entertainment. It has become a tool of entertainment because the Western world has embraced it and sells it as a commodity. But really at the core of what dance is, it's a way of life, to celebrate life, birth, marriage, wanting rain, calling down the gods and the goddesses. It's a spiritual place where people can transcend into spirit and commune with God. It's a place where people can allow themselves to transcend into the ancestral world because people are dancing your spirit into the ancestral world. So dance is life.
You don't have to dance in a company to be a dancer. I mean, I'm not dancing now, but I still feel dance.
In a way, Detroit's renown as a cultural center is more noted outside of Detroit than here. You know, when I'm in Europe traveling, people in Europe are excited about the Detroit cultural history and music and the arts. Yeah, we all know it. We all know and are proud of what we have in Detroit, but I think in some ways we don't value it the way others do outside of the city.
You've got dance right here waiting for you, and we say dance on Detroit because everybody's going to be doing it. Why don't you join us?
Dance on Detroit!
Visit DetroitPerforms.org for more information on Dance on Detroit, as well as all the other artists featured here today. Plus, keep watching Detroit Public TV for the full half-hour episode of Dance on Detroit, brought to you by Detroit Performs.